I am in that 70% of people that did not vote in the last election. But yes, there is a big but to it. And people like Justice Panton should listen to this. You know, I was watching a YouTube channel, Jamaica 411. Yes, that channel that shines so much light on matters. And the point that Justice Panton made was repeated there, which I really never expected, for I felt like I was the only one who was looking into it with deep critical spectacles. I remember how it affected me while watching Justice Panton in Parliament recently. People can interpret the fact that 70% of Jamaicans, like myself, did not vote or don't even think twice about election on election day because of whatever they will ascribe to it. Some will use it to suggest that the government is bordering on illegitimacy anyway. That would not be true. And I hope Mr. Pantan did not see it so either. Like, we, the 70%, are not Jamaicans that support the government of Jamaica, are to imply that he should not even be answerable to them, or that it represents the masses that he represents. You know, like the 70% more represents the masses and is separate from the 30%. The masses that the parliament represents is every Jamaican, and the masses that pays Justice Pantan is every Jamaican. The masses are not who votes versus who do not. The masses is all the citizens of Jamaica, whether or not you voted. I remember once voting for the PNP and once for the JLP. I have not voted since then. My not voting for the JLP in the last election was not to disregard their authority now that they were elected as government. But if the PNP had won, I would not have seen a difference, for I was not enthused enough about their offerings. That is all it means. However, had the PNP won, they would be legitimate and authentic in my mind, just the same. I respect the system. Understand that you have no choice where you don't have one. In some cases, you do not have to choose and you will simply accept whatever if it seems like there is none better than the other. If you have two restaurants that serve the same fried chicken, you do not have to specialize in which one to buy from. You will get the same fried chicken either way. It does not mean that you will decide to starve. Not voting does not mean that we choose to disrespect the government and then claim that they are about to poison us or something. It would be unfair to confuse the meaning of 70% not voting as something to support malevolent ideas or negative ideas. I don't expect that anyone would do so, but I hope to make it clear to everyone that every time that one begs to differ, it needs not be because of bad intentions. Like to say, we did not even vote for you, so don't represent us. We are more civilized than that. Many of the 70% will wake up and realize and then vote this time. Many will not, because they are diehards that will not vote for a better choice if that choice is not of their political tribe. So, if he figures that his party is going to send Jamaica up into a cause butthole, he will refrain from voting, but he will not vote for the better party at the time, as it is not of his tribe. He will simply not vote. Either way, he affects the demographics. The other, well, he affects the demographics, but he is still a Jamaican, and the government who was elected will be his government. The other will not vote until he sees something that makes sense to him. This person will not necessarily vote because one party convinced him that they are the better choice, although that could be the case as well. Sometimes he could simply vote against a party that demonstrates how dirty and evil they are. It goes both ways. There are so many variation or colors to it. Do not take the fact that persons did not vote to mean they have all of a sudden become political rogues, or that they will support any implication that the authority of government is merely superficial or something like that. I did not vote because of reasons of dissatisfaction, but even though I might be hard on them with my own opinions, it does not mean that I am opposed to or will be ready or willing to disrespect or fight against the government of Jamaica. Neither does it mean that I will be involved in any act of treason, although in my mind I would always have wished for a better choice. I am in support of whomever is rightfully elected by the voting population, even if it was a minority on the day. If I did not care who won, why would the number of people who voted matter to me in the end result anyway? As long as our voting rights were not taken away, we know to accept the results. For this reason, I support the government of Jamaica. I understand that every Jamaican has his full rights to vote. And even if I choose not to vote, the system will go on anyway. Therefore, I would have no choice but to accept that. Although I did not vote, our elected prime minister is also my prime minister. This time, I could choose to vote for a prime minister, and the reason could be that I am not convinced that there is any good in the opposition. It can always go both ways. I am not partisan, so I have the right to flip flop, and I never expect to be expected to be in support or included in any underhanded attempt to disrespect or impugn the authority, the integrity, or the legitimacy of government. I am Jamaican first, and Jamaica will always need and have a government to work on my behalf. Many people in that 70% have the level of intelligence that raises them above a sheep mentality, where you get to switch them on and off for partisan behavior. So, to imply that we did not vote should never go to mean that the government only represents a 30%, or that it in some way diminishes the government's authority. We all know we can vote whenever we like. People going people going forward. We must always think on these things. Think on matters like these. Let us not be easily led or manipulated. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.